Throughout the Halo franchise, the Covenant cruiser has been in since day one. As far as the entire fleet of Halo warships go, the Covenant cruiser is one of the biggest players. Back in Halo Combat Evolved, we get our first look at the Covenant cruiser in the mission Truth and Reconciliation. It has an extremely iconic design, and to be honest, even all the way now in Halo Reach nearly 10 years later, the design really hasn't changed all that much. So one day while I was doing my modding thing, I thought back to one of my original Halo Reach PC mods, the Flyable Frigate, and I decided that I was going to make the Covenant cruiser flyable, and today I have done just that. Welcome to my Long Night of Solace sandbox. This is a campaign map conversion of the mission Long Night of Solace. I picked this because it has all kinds of massive spaceships, Covenant and UNSC. As you can see, I've placed them around here. But this is essentially where I've been testing out the Covenant cruiser here. So I'm gonna spawn one of these bad boys in real quick and we can take a look at it. So first and foremost, yes, this is the model from campaign and everything. It looks a bit different than you might expect up close. I'll drop it here, it'll go falling. But essentially, it's the same cruiser that you've probably seen in Halo many times over. The Reach variant looks very nice, has all kinds of really cool details. Looks surprisingly similar to the Halo 1 variant. I'm gonna go ahead and spawn another one in and fly it real quick. Hey, now this thing is so unbelievably massive that without any choice in the matter, I'm stuck inside of it when I spawn it. However, I can just hop right out and hold RB to pilot the Covenant cruiser. Now the first thing you'll notice is that there are sound effects. They're pretty subtle, but these are proper capital ship sound effects. And as you can see, I'm gonna boost forward here. I have got working engine effects on it as well, so you kind of feel like you're flying a real ship here. It's not just a flyable prop. As far as the actual vehicle maneuvering goes, I've gone ahead and made it very, very slow so that while you're flying, you're getting a sense of scale for how massive this actually is. The primary weapon that I've added currently that I'll probably end up changing are these large Space Phantom bolts. They're decently effective at close range. I'll have to adjust them a bit more, but essentially they're just kind of like a deterrent more than anything. They're definitely not the primary function of this ship, but it's nice to have them either way. Another thing, I'm gonna fly down so I can show you the secondary weapon here, which you probably saw in the title of the video. But if you notice, my camera is actually positioned really far away from this ship. There's not a single camera track in the game that you can just slap on to a massive ship like this that will keep you like several hundred units of distance away like this. I actually had to go in and create a custom camera track that no vehicle in the game has ever used before in order to not have the camera constantly inside the ship. So that took a little while to actually take care of, but I think the results speak for themselves. It looks really good. Nugget. All right, now that we're down near the surface of Reach, maybe a little too close, I've switched to my secondary weapon. As you can see, it's got the Spartan laser reticle. I'm gonna fly up a little bit higher here and let's fire this baby. That's right, the working glassing beam. This thing does an absurd amount of damage. I'll have to import this thing into Forge World for later on so we can actually see how much damage this can do up against proper vehicles, but let's just fire that one more time. And one more good run and we'll check it out in theater mode. Ooh, that is beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna go and swap into theater mode so we can kind of see what this big, huge ship looks like when you're not locked behind the ships itself. Real quick before I get to the goodness that is the glassing from a proper angle, I wanted to show off what this ship actually looks like compared to a UNSC frigate, because as you can see here, the cruiser is a lot bigger than the UNSC frigate, and a lot of people don't seem to realize that in an actual fight, this thing is huge. As you can see here from a distance, this thing is pretty damn cool to watch flying around. It looks as you would expect it to. It really looks like it's a proper cruiser flying around, and to be honest, I can't really say that I'm not happy with how this turned out because it looks really good. I'm actually pretty proud of this one. Okay, we've got the cruiser approaching the surface now. It's breaking through some cloud layers. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Reach is glassed. All right, here we are, up close and personal with the cruiser. Now keep in mind, this is not just a simple effect. I actually took the glassing beam effect, I crunched it up into many little pieces, and I turned it into a fully functioning weapon. So when you're seeing this, just know it's real, it deals damage, and it can be fired on any surface. And honestly, just look at this, a beautiful sight. You can see a UNSC frigate, a super carrier, a corvette, and then you've got this cruiser just flying around. From the bottom, they actually look so beautiful. This is seriously a pretty beautiful sight. Now I suppose it's just a matter of time before I make that super carrier there flyable as well. To be honest, this thing is just so much fun to fly around that I'm going to actually make this available to download to all of my patrons to begin with until I can turn this into a more fully fleshed out mod. So if you're actually interested in downloading and playing with this, I'll put it on my Patreon. Link to that is in the description. However, if you don't want to subscribe to my Patreon to get access to this right now, I will be releasing this, of course, for free, as I do with all of my mods. As soon as I can find a good place for this in one of my mods, it'll be released onto the Nexus as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed seeing this ship, and I hope you check out some of my other Halo mod videos if you haven't seen them already. But I am Rejected Shotgun, and this has been the Covenant Cruiser with a glassing beam. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.